Me again. Okay, so this is Quantum Leap's review of no-win situation. I'm sorry, just did the card one. Um, Quantum Leap's review of Family Style and SOS. So Family Style, I actually like this one. I like the concept of family being broken by the loss of a family member and stuff like that. I did not write notes for this, so I'm just gonna go off the top of my head. Um, I did see your video about these things as well, so I'm kind of going to talk about that and talk about the episode. Um, so you had a point in time where you were like, this does not really happen. And coming from a Greek family, yeah, this does happen. This does happen where, come to one Greek Easter and you'll see this fucking happens. Tell the Greeks that you're going to be roasting a lamb for Easter and everybody will come. You know what I mean? Like, that is, they will all show up. It does not matter. So it's very, I find some similarities exist between the Asian American cultures and the Greek culture, as well as I'm sure Italian cultures and stuff like that, and Spanish culture. But, like, there's a lot of similarities when it comes to, like, the cultural things. So, yeah, it does happen where they all come together and want to help and stuff like that. But it also happens that they nosy as fuck. And that they show up unannounced, and like it can always seem condescending, and everybody always knows best and stuff like that. So yeah, I resonated with this episode because I definitely could feel like culturally, like this is a thing. Like I have experienced these things in my life, so it makes total sense. So I like that about it. One thing that was just aching on my brain now, and I'm so mad at myself that I never really went back and thought through it fast. So, and like we've seen Sam in the past with earrings. You know what I mean? Like no problem. Never thought about that twice. But this time Ben had a nose ring. So in my head, for some reason, I thought that when Sam would put on earrings, he'd put on like clip-ons or like the whatever. But he's doing a nose ring like here. Like what happens to why jewelry? Why does the nose ring? Why do piercings not like absorb? I mean, like I don't know. I guess the same way that clothes don't and stuff like that. But piercings actually, like, you know, they go through your body. So in my head, I'm thinking like, you know, if you leap into enough people, you got holes fucking everywhere. How do you explain the holes to like whoever? But it's just like I said, piercing. It was egging at me where it's like, oh, it's gotta be something. I also agree with you that I did like Ben. Ben's like not phased about being a woman. Like, good, don't be. You know what I mean? Like, I still go back to whole, like, I would have loved Addison to be a man and see what happened there, but different problem for a different day. I'm sure maybe in the future we'll get that, and that'd be cool, but, like, it's interesting. I also like the red herring of the dude. And I don't know why they introduced him in such a, like, nefarious kind of fucking way. Like, the dude who could potentially help him and stuff like that. Like, he's not nefarious. I get it. You showed up so that, like, you told him the thing that he told you. Like, I do love when they do that stupid little thing, like, you know, Peggy Suey and stuff like that. Like, I always think of that. But I like those things. But I did like it was a red herring, but in the same token, I was like, yeah, well, I guess that's just nothing. Also agree with you that it was fucking stupid for the lady to burn down the... Like, why? Why was that necessary to burn down the thing? I always found that, like, a little... Why? Like, you could have had more money. You know what I mean? Like, you could still have, like, they could have given you the money. You could still try to burn it down at night. Like, why are you going to do it? Like I said, maybe they're trying to hint at a little bit of racism. Who fucking knows when it comes to that kind of thing? You know, writing. You're right, the mom did change a little bit faster than I thought. I get it, she was supposed to be fun, but then she changed with the dad thing and stuff like that. I just, you know, why don't you give the sister one thing? By the way, as someone whose parents did own a restaurant, you have, a very fucking small staff. So even when you have staff, like, there's backups. You know what I mean? Like, the one dude sleeping underneath the thing, and then the one kid who had to, like, go get sneakers or something. Like, bro, how many hours you gotta go fucking sneakers for? Like, days? Because, like, it seemed like you gone all fucking day for that shit. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have any backups when it comes to that. And I get it. We're supposed to focus on the family unit itself and blah, blah, blah. But in the same token, like, we're starting to the more people started to like bounce out, and I was like, okay, relax. Um, that part of, like, of all the unrealistic things, that's the most unrealistic to me, that you don't have backups to like do anything. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of ridiculous. Um, what else was I gonna think? Oh, the stress, the post-traumatic stress disorder. You know what I mean? Like, the PTSD of Ben watching. I mean, like, we did know that the mom was gonna be fine, but it makes sense that Ben, like, you know, finding your mother dead after you had an argument with her is not a wound that will easily heal without like real therapy. It sounds like Ben never really like dug in to like the feelings behind that. He just kind of like pushed it all into something. And you're right, I had the same feeling that like Ben's gonna eventually like try to save his mom, or try to see his mom, or something like that. Who knows? But yeah, I don't want that to happen either, because like it gets too close to the, if it does happen, it needs to happen like season 3. Not anytime in the near, like, Ben, you got work to do before you earn that shit with me. So yeah, there was that. And like I said, I liked it for a bunch of cultural reasons. You know what I mean? It just reminded me a lot of, you know, my family, my culture, how the whole thing comes together and stuff like that. It was very convenient that a wedding decided to stay open that late for stuff. But it's just, you know, it is what it is. Separately, you know, I did like the little healing moment where Ben got to hug the mom when it his mom or whatever when it came to that, because that's sweet. But it is what it is. I liked it. I thought it was cute. Then we get to SOS, which definitely digs into the family thing. So I love Brandon Routh. Like, always loved him. Loved him. He was okay as Super. Honestly, he wasn't like my favorite Superman or whatever. He's like not even probably my top 3. I mean, Christopher Reeves. No one ever. We should talk about Superman one day and see how we feel about that. But yeah, Brandon Routh was fantastic in this episode. So watching the whole thing start, where first of all, the guy who played like the captain or whatever, he had been a mainstay in CSI, and I had liked him there. And then if you remember, he was in the second David job in Leverage. Of course, I remember this shit. So I like that actor. But it like messed me all up with like age and time. Like, why is this dude old now? Like, why are we portraying him as old as fuck now? Like, and he's losing his marbles. Addison's realization of this is her father and stuff like that. I actually thought that like the captain was going to be her father, and then watching it be Brandon Routh and he's all shiny and stuff like that. That was an interesting turn. Just the disdain that she has for him like messed me all up. What was the other thing I was going to say with that one? The constant back and forth. Yeah, mutiny. I struggled a little bit with the mutiny aspect as well. Like, I get it, but we got a little too we got there too quick. Like, again, like you said, it's a 45-minute show, and we just got there very quick. You're right. It was a poor man's Hunt for Red Crimson Tide. I almost said Hunt for Red Crimson Tide, which I have seen. Great movie. It was a poor man's version of that, and it's fine. I did find it interesting that it's 1989, and we're like, sure, this dude's still, he's misogynistic, and he's racist, because he's really into getting the Han, with everything that's going on. And it's like, dude, we're not at Pearl Harbor, we are in the late 80s, almost early 90s. Like, relax a little bit. You know what I mean? It's not that serious. But you could tell he had his own PTSD that he was working through with all of it. One thing that almost took me out of the moment a little bit. Okay, for some reason, Brandon Routh's character kept finding it in himself. For someone who had been stoic Addison's entire life and stuff like that, he had no problem every time he fucking saw Ben pouring out his guts for various reasons. Like, what magic does Ben have that like that Brandon Routh needs to, like, you know, pour his guts out like every single time, and like big dark secrets that you don't tell anybody else. I like the discovery that, you know, it wasn't her dad that made it go down. It was that her dad didn't stop the captain from making this decision. I enjoyed that. I liked the complexity of it because it's never just at face value and stuff like that. I liked, the various looks that Master Chief, and of course I'm always thinking of Halo when that happens. Um, like the Master Chief was trying to tell him, and like all the again military jargon and stuff like that goes right over my head because it's just never been my thing. Um, as much as like the last one wasn't yours, the last one was mine. This one's more yours. It's not really mine. So yeah, like I thought it was a good episode. Like it definitely reminded me of like what we expect from the Quantum Leap brand. Um, I did like the little back and forth between Ben and Walker. He was. And I did like the little turn of Martinez. You're right, Martinez does look older because you could see like he's got like the white on the sides and stuff like that. But if we're going back to the evil leaper, like he's like, you helped me, and that's why I'll win. Like, win what? What are we competing for? Win what? I feel like that was the poor choice of words because what are we like? Win implies competition. So, but like we already know that Addison is in danger. Like, who's gonna save Addison first? Maybe that's what it is. Martinez versus Ben for who can save us first. I don't know. I'm grasping at straws there. I just thought it was a weird choice of words. Like that's why I'll win. Like okay. So yeah. I liked the episode. I liked the back and forth. I liked everything Brandon Routh was in was a beautiful scene. Of course, my daddy issues all over the place when Addison is like, trying to watch her dad and tell him, he did the best you could and stuff like that. You then do think about like what happens afterwards. Is she gonna go home? Like, I don't remember if she told us that her dad died or not, but like, is she gonna go home and be like, "Daddy, I love you and I forgive you" and blah 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 for everything, or like? I really want to know how this does change their relationship, but we won't know obviously until next episode or season or who fucking knows. But yeah, I do like that we're getting more into Addison's life. We're getting more into who Addison was. It one thing. Nah, my brain's all over the place with this. One thing that I thought was cool is that when he's like, "Yeah, Addison's mother, she doesn't love me. She'll stay because she's a good woman, but she doesn't love me." Like, that adds another layer of complexity because it's totally like, okay, Addison knows what a loveless marriage looks like. You know what I mean? Like, and she don't want that either. So it just gives it gives her a lot of layers that she really didn't have before in the past. Candidly, one of the things that I'm really struggling with this is that we loved Sam so much, and Sam had so many layers, and we would find them out in like he speaks random languages, and he's got 4 degrees and various things. We'd find out things about him and Al, and that's it. You know what I mean? We wouldn't really find out a ton more about everybody else. We just wouldn't. I feel like I know more about everybody else. Like what the fuck is her name right now? The Miranda May knockoff. I know she's got her dad issues. Like, okay, aside from Ben's mom dying, what do we got on Ben? Like, what do we got? That's it. I feel like I don't know anything else about him. And that part's kind of driving me a little crazy where it's totally like, you're very one-dimensional, Ben, as a human. Like, I don't know your layers. I don't see your layers or anything like that. I see everybody else's layers. We just had that beautiful episode with Ian where, you do see an outside human as part of Ian's shtick. But we've given Ian so many layers and so many different leaps. Ernie Hudson, we're giving him so many layers. And Addison, we're giving her so many layers, but Ben has the one fucking thing, and that's it. And I think it's driving me crazy. I want to care about Ben. I just find myself that I can't. Like, insert broom here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like very often it's like Addison being like, Ben, go tie your shoes. Ben, stop talking to me overtly. Ben, stop. Like, I feel like, dude, is she gonna tell you to breathe oxygen next? Like, does she need to remind you how to do this? Because you bad at this. So I don't know. I'm struggling with him a lot in this. And now there's another episode out, which I'm about to watch after I'm done with all this. But I wanted to mention it to you because it's driving me crazy. Anyway, those are my feelings on the Quantum Leap episodes. Look forward to hearing your feelings on the Picard episode. And I don't know. Have a nice night. Get some rest. Bye.